Live from the backstretch at historic Saratoga Race Course, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow. Racing Across America is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. When you can't make it to the track, make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on this Thursday morning. I'm Seth Merrow. Thanks for joining us live from our Clare Court set here on the backstretch. A lot of activity this morning in front of us, as always, gate works and whatnot. But there's been some nice activity behind us as well. And we have activity coming up on the show this morning. Dave Drening from the Racing Forum will join us in a little bit. The regular rotation for the Racing Forum. We'll do a little preview and review with Dave of last weekend and coming up this weekend as well. A little bit later on, we'll be joined by Jason Brenenstahl from Rustic Barn down in Lansingburg, our newest easy bet. So we'll give you a little info on that location if you're down in that direction. But our first guest, been looking to get him for the past couple of weeks after the big win earlier in the meet. It's Jorge Abreu, trainer of Scottish Lassie, who won the Coaching Club American Oaks back on the 19th. George, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. Happy to have you on board. And before we get to the race, we've had you before and we probably talked about this, but I always think we get new fans that kind of join in as the Saratoga season gets underway. Give us a little bit of your background. Dominican Republic, correct?
I was born in the Dominican Republic. Yeah.
And so how'd you wind up here and how'd you get into the horse racing game?
Well, my dad and my mom used to work on the track.
Okay.
My mom was a hot worker for Skippy Chapoff, and my dad was a hot exercise rider for Skippy Chapoff when he had Spencer Decision and all them horses.
Very good.
We came from the Dominican Republic in the 80s. 1984, we came in the Dominican Republic. We used to go to school and go to the track on Saturday and Sunday. I used to come to Maury Garin's barn and clean the feed tub, water bucket, and roll the bandages.
There's a name from the past. Yeah, very good. And you were also an exercise rider, correct?
I exercised for 17 years. I worked for Nick Cito. I freelanced for Top Pledger, for J.J. Toner, and Terra Nova, Billy Badgett. I've been around.
Yeah, no, there are some prominent names, certainly. And I'm guessing, you also were an assistant to Chad for years.
I was the first assistant Chad had. I worked for him for 9 years.
Oh, wow. So that's interesting, the first assistant. So the list of names you put, that's a pretty good horse racing education.
Oh, yeah. Around some good horses.
Yeah. Do you still get up on horses in the morning?
No more.
Okay. But I'm assuming that experience plays into your training when you're watching them in the morning, watching them in the afternoon.
Correct.
Yeah. I ask trainers a lot, do you use numbers like buyers or thoroughgraph or anything? No.
I don't.
You're all on the looking at the horse in the morning and whatnot. Where are you barned?
My barn is in 86, right behind Kenneman Peak. I'm in between Kenneman Peak and Jeremiah Englehart.
Okay. So that's on the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I assume when you're working your horses, most of the time you're working over in Oklahoma?
So, yeah, the older horses, I keep them in Oklahoma. The baby, I bring into the main track so they could get, familiar with it. So
we'll talk about that a little bit. What is your decision process to bring a horse and work the horse over here?
Well, most part is that, like I say, the 2-year-olds, so they could get used to the surrounding, walking through the paddock, that way it's not a first, when they come over for the races, they don't waste all their energy looking around and screaming and howling around there.
And people see that often, the schooling in the paddock. Talk a little bit about that and what the game plan is when you bring up. If folks aren't familiar, you'll hear the announcer a lot of times, particularly before big stakes races. Hey, here we have some video of this performer coming up on Saturday, schooling in the paddock. But you do it with young horses too. You'll see a horse between races. There's nothing really going on in the paddock, but a horse is walking around. Talk about where you're trying. It's all mental you're trying to affect.
It's very important because once you do all your work for the month, trying to get into the race, for them to come to the paddock and lose their race, they're getting nervous, flipping over. Not 99% of the time that works because you want them to come in there, relax, and save all their energy. Sometimes some of the baby, they can't help it. So many things goes around. They want to wear up and act stupid. Once the horse comes to the paddock, he's all washed out. That's your race right there.
Yeah. And I'm assuming part of that schooling is probably walking through the path in the backyard as well.
Yeah,
which
because
I
the
think
main
is,
concern here is walking through the crowd.
Yeah.
They're not using another track. Like in Saratoga, in Belmont, you don't see that. At Aquila, you don't see that. In Boston, you don't see that. So you come here and you got kids running around. You can't tell them not to run around.
Yeah.
So you try to get them used to that. So when the afternoon, when they come out to the races, they're familiar with that.
No, I always think that backyard for a young horse has to be
It's
an
very
experience.
important. It's very important.
Because as you said, there's kids running around. There's people right up on the fence.
Throwing cooler and stuff
yeah,
like that. It's nothing
yeah,
you could do.
Yeah. But that's part of the experience. And just, doing some bio information and reading. It sounds, you won the first race of the meet, right?
Yeah.
That's a great way to start. I was going to say, reading your bio information, Saratoga is a big part of your program. So talk a little bit about coming up here and talk of this season. It's got to be great to win the first race of the meet.
Well, I prep myself every year to come in Saratoga and try to fire. And it's been working for the past 9 years for what I have. And winning the first race in Saratoga opening day, for me, I got that duck out of the way. And then I came back and I won a second race, but my third race was Scottish Lassie, winning a great one in Saratoga. I'm still in cloud nine.
and that is the perfect segue to lead into. We pulled up the stretch run here of Scottish Lassie, going to be the number 3 horse here, winning over Immersive, a very talented runner in her own right. And you win. The chart margin here is 15.5 lengths. Scottish Lassie showed a lot of promise last year with the win in the grade 1 for Zet. Gets another grade 1 here. What were your expectations coming in, and could you foresee this kind of a victory for her?
I can't lie to you. I don't think she was going to win by that margin, but I know my filly was sitting on a good race, especially when Rosario came in breeze the first time. She breezed 7-8 and 27 here. And then for the last race before the race, prior to the race, I told Rosario, I just want to go 48 on 101. He went 48, 101, 127. And he told me this filly's ready. All we need is a good break. And then when I saw her in the paddock, when she walked in the paddock, she was, I don't know, she was just showing like she was there. She was ready. She didn't sweat. She was very professional. She did everything the right way. In the warm-up, I think she was the best-looking horse.
Took them all the way on the front end. Was that the game plan? And I've read also you don't really give instructions. So what was the...
I didn't really give Rosario any instructions that day, and I never expected this filly to be in the league. I was so nervous. I was sitting with Jay and Dave in the box, and I was in the corner, and I didn't see anything. I didn't see the first half a mile of the race to the 5:16 post. Say Scottish Lassie is in front by 5. I said, this is not true. And I look at Tony Form, and I start screaming.
The early fractions, 23 and change, 48 and change, 112.
When I saw that 112, I was pretty comfortable because her ear was she was just like playing around there.
Yeah. And again, a grade 1 up here at Saratoga.
Oh my God.
Talk about the feeling.
No word to describe it. I can't. Okay, she was trying to interview me, and I had no word coming out of my mouth. I was a mute.
And particularly with a horse, you're a part owner, I believe, and you picked this horse out of the sale down at OBS. Talk about what attracted you to the horse at the sale.
Well, I went with my brother Fernando. We went over there. We looked at a couple of fillies because all my guys are into fillies. I have 50 horses, and 45 of them are fillies.
Yeah.
And I know Gene because he was a foreman when I used to work for Chad as an assistant trainer. He had that, and he had a good magic feeling. He tried to put me into the good magic. Something I like this filly since the first time I seen it. I went back and looked at that filly probably 10, 15 times. And I told Steve, I said, I want to buy Mr. Weston from Parkland. He goes, if you want it, let's get her. So Jean had a good sale with a good magic before her. And I called Jean, and she didn't make the reserve. And I said, what are you looking for? He goes, probably 100. I said, well, you didn't make your reserve is 100. You didn't make 100. Can you take 85? Let me call the owner. I said, I need to know now because I haven't had another horse going to the ring. He said, okay, go ahead. And like Jose, I told Steve, go sign that ticket. And since the minute she came to my barn, I know she was special. There was something there.
How do you see that? Is it mental? Can you see that in the stall? They're just more plugged in, or when they get out on the track?
Well, everything mentally around the barn, walking, the way she trains, the way she handles herself on the track, nothing facing her.
And as I say, her 2-year-old season was very good. Third up here in debut and a maiden special. And you had to have confidence in her because you come off the third in the debut and go into the Frazette, and she wins that by 9.
Well, Ira rode her the first time out here, and we had the 1 hole going 7-8, which is hard for any horse to win out of there. We didn't break well. We didn't have the best strip, and Ira told me this filly's pretty talented. We didn't have the best break. We didn't have the best strip, but she's going to get a lot out of this. So I told the guy, we have nothing to lose. Winning a maiden special way and winning a grade 1 or a grade 2 is not going to make any difference. So let's give it a try.
Yeah.
And we just trained for that race, and she showed up.
And the rest is history after the present. Then you went to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly, ran a decent fourth in there out at Del Mar. Came back this year, a third in the optional claim to start the season, a third behind Lacara in the Acorn. As a trainer, as handicappers, we always like the third start back. As a trainer, is the third start back, does that mean anything to you?
To me, the second, I always feel pretty confident going into the Acorn, but it rained. We had the one hole again, and Ira came back and told me, you know what, we had the one hole. Probably if it would have been a dry track, it would have been a different outcome. But going into the coaching club, she was 110% ready that day.
Yeah. No,
in the allowance race at Aqua, I wasn't too concerned because I threw Eric Cancel in there because I didn't want to have no commitment to any big name jock.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get her back in the rhythm because her work pattern wasn't enough to win that race. So I'm not going to blame. Yeah, he didn't give her the best ride, but I couldn't blame Eric because I don't care who was going to ride her that day. She wasn't going to win. She wasn't ready to win that day.
Yeah. And then as a trainer, there's always, again, as handicappers are always saying, well, this one isn't the goal. The next one is the
correct.
Goal. Yeah. Particularly the seasonal debut kind of a situation. But again, you bought her down at OBS. Are you active at the 2-year-old sales?
I was. We bought a couple of horses at the OBS. 2 of them, they're on the sideline, and 2 of them I run at the end of the month.
Okay. So we'll look for those. Are you a player in any of the other sales, or do you concentrate on the 2-year-old?
Well, we tried to bid on a couple of horses here. The sale that just passed the select sale. It didn't work out.
Yeah,
so we're going to go for the New York
race. Fireworks.
We're pretty close on one, but it was
also, well, before I move on, how is Scottish Lassie doing? And I'm guessing Alabama's on the agenda.
Scottish Lassie is doing very well. We're going to breeze on Sunday, and we're going to make a decision from there. It's 50-50 with the Alabama or the Cotillion.
Okay.
Not because of anything, just because of the timing.
Yeah, it's going to be one or the other?
Correct.
Okay. And where do you work her?
I was using the main track, but I'm staying away a little bit from the main track, so I'm going to breeze on the training track.
Okay. And when did you say the work is?
Sunday.
All right. So we'll keep our eyes open for that and see if you have an announcement coming up there. Just wanted to talk about some other horses of yours. We talked when you sat down, Moon Age Daydream, and I did pull up a replay of last year's Yaddo, and I pulled up and wanted to talk about Moon Age Daydream because of the win up here last year and a very nice record overall for Moon Age Daydream. But I saw she had a number of works up here already, and when you sat down, you said you have a plan for her, and it may relate to this race we're watching right now, last year's Yaddo.
Yeah, because I don't have anything anywhere else to go with her. I don't want to run her open off the layoff. We gave her the winter off just because she's a turf horse, New York bred. Yeah. I wasn't planning on running in Gulfstream. So Mr. Larson just told me send it to the farm for a couple of months. She came back and she looks great. She's been training very, very well.
Expectations for the first start of the season if you take the shot in the Yaddo?
I'm going to.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what are your expectations?
I mean, I expect her to run a big race. She's training well. She looks strong.
Likes the track, obviously.
She loves it here.
Yeah. As do a lot of horses. Do you find that? Do you find some horses over the years, it's always been, hey, they like the water.
It's funny because you have horses that like Saratoga. You have some horses that don't like Saratoga. You have some horses that love Aqueduct. Some horses that don't like Aqueduct. Like Jorge's probably loves Aqueduct.
Okay. And do you ever use the clear court?
I use it here if I have a tough horse. Prior to going into the race.
It's like a mental thing.
Yeah, because it's so narrow. They don't do as much.
Yeah, interesting. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about tomorrow because I mentioned Moon Age Daydream. We'll come back in the Yaddo last year, but you have a sibling coming up in the 5th race tomorrow in Moonlight Drive, the 10 horse. I think this horse is interesting, being a sibling to Moon Age Daydream. What are your thoughts tomorrow on the debut runner, Moonlight Drive?
I think he's a really nice horse. He trains like a good horse in the morning. His race has been very good. Not fast because I don't breeze fast, but all his breeze has been very well. And I think he's ready to fire tomorrow.
I read on board by Spitestown, as they say, sibling to Moon Age Daydream. That one is interesting. You have another debut runner tomorrow as well.
Race.
Yeah, Well Shaken coming up. What are your thoughts on that one?
She's a tough filly to be around, and I think that filly is going to benefit from a race or two before she get it together. But if she hit the board tomorrow, it's not going to surprise me.
And that's interesting as well. I always look at races as second time start. You look at a horse, and I will say when I'm in here handicapping, sometimes it's not a winning effort. Certainly, it's maybe not hit the board, but it looks like that's kind of a good foundation to get an education. And from what you're saying, this horse, it may be one of those that will appreciate the education in the first start.
Yeah, even if you don't win, you want to see a horse have an effort. Like if they break back, or some horses in the morning, they're pretty fast and precocious, and in the afternoon, sometimes they miss the break. You just want to see a horse that finish well and gallop out good.
Yeah.
If you have a horse that get beat 35 lane, I mean, what's going to be your expectation second time out? Like, see what happens.
And I'm assuming you also take a lot of, you kind of alluded to it already, take a lot from when the jock gets off and what he has to say.
Oh yeah, and what I do, like if they're gonna ride the horse, I let them breathe in prior to the race. That way they have a feel with the horse.
And that leads into my question. I asked some trainers as well. I assume you take a lot of advice from exercise riders because you were one yourself, and those are the guys that are out there on these horses on a regular basis, and so they can give some good insights as well, I assume.
Yeah, and I think it took me a while, but I think I have a pretty good team of exercise rider right now. I have 5 here for 30 horses. We take our time, and I think they're pretty good riders, the one I have right now.
And I just wanted to touch on also, I didn't pull up a replay or anything, but you had a New York champion in Venti Valentine. That was a nice runner for you. You have to appreciate the New York bred program,
yeah.
particularly when you get one like that.
Yeah, she's missing the bond.
Yeah.
We miss her a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get another one like her.
And again, when you have a good New York bred, I always say you have so many options. You can go to New York bred stake. You can go with like an open company. It gives you so many options.
You do. The New York program worked very well for me.
Yeah, there's no question about it. George wanted to get you in, as I say. We were trying to get you in after the Coaching Club American Oaks win because we wanted to talk Scottish Lassie, who just was phenomenal that day. Looking forward to what decision you're going to make. Alabama, I hope Alabama, but if you go to the Cotillion, good luck there as well. And again, having a nice meet. Kick things off, winning the first race of the meet. You can't knock that, and then get a nice grade 1 shortly thereafter. But again, congratulations on the meet so far, and good luck going forward.
Thank you very much.
George Abreu. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, more on Racing Across America. Stay tuned.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
For centuries, the bond between horse and human has been forged in trust and hands-on care. Thoroughbred racing is combining that tradition with cutting-edge technology to raise our standards even higher. New investments in wearable biometrics, advanced imaging, and AI help optimize our safety programs.
That opening quarter mile was a quick one.
Every day, a commitment to improving their care. So win or lose, it's safety that runs first. To learn more, visit safetyrunsfirst.com.
Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Thursday morning, as stated earlier in the show. Joined now by our friend Dave Drening from the Daily Racing Forum in the rotation. Dave's Thursday. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. Happy to have you on board, as always. Always like to start. You and Mike and the team out in the mornings checking workouts. Anything notable in the morning over the past few days?
To be honest with you, not really.
No, yeah.
I've been out. I was downstate Monday, Tuesday, and got back yesterday, and then today we had some, but nothing that overly stood out.
We were talking on the handicapping show about this, and I'll ask you because you guys are out here watching every day. What's the ratio of workouts main track versus Oklahoma on a kind of a daily basis?
It sort of have evened out a bit with the early in the meet. Everyone kind of starts off at Oklahoma, and they dip their toes in on the main track till it sort of has gotten used. Because Oklahoma opens in April, the main track it's been opening up in May now. It used to open up not until June, but now when we start up, for example, Todd Pletcher, who has all these babies, and they're all and Chad Brown, they're all working at Oklahoma. They're all now on the main track. Chad will split them up, but Todd mostly his works are on the main track. So, and then Chad, he splits them up a little bit, but I'd say it's 60-40, maybe higher for him on the main track now.
And then we were also talking, Anthony Moreno brought it up. I'd completely forgotten about this, but it used to be a thing, and I don't think it is anymore. You get to work on the Oklahoma, you'd subtract a couple of seconds from
No,
it.
it's not what it used to be. Yeah, the thing.
Yeah.
Anthony's been around a long time, so you go back a while, and when you broke 50 on the Oklahoma, it meant you go to the windows. Now it's a common occurrence.
Yeah.
So it isn't that deep type of fitness building type of track that it used to be.
Yeah, I was saying it used to be a thing, but not so much. Let's go back and just get some thoughts. We'll watch the stretch run here to the Whitney, top of the stretch. I thought Fierceness had it in the bag, and then he kind of threw out the anchor, but it was a nice performance from Sierra Leone. A lot of consternation, I guess, on social media. I didn't see it. I saw people replying, but it seemed like people were kind of upset with the rabbit, and my whole thing was talking about going back. It used to be a thing in America, still a thing in Europe, so I didn't have any problems with that. But again, your thoughts on the Whitney?
Well, there's no issues with running a rabbit in a race. I guess if you want to make a thing where you couple them, fine. I think the stewards or the gaming commission stewards have been a little reticent to do that, coupling in $1 million race when the rule is $1 million. But it's done all, and it wasn't like they put it in there because Fierceness is a speed horse and we have to soften Fierceness up. They put it in there to make sure there was a pace, which was only going to help Fierceness until about the 3/16 ball, 8 ball, looked like Fierceness was doing just fine. And as you said, he pulled out the anchor. And, the little things might have happened during the running of the race, but nothing that would have prevented Fierceness from running his race, in my opinion. And he ran his race to the 8 ball and he'd stopped. That's happened before. He hasn't been the most consistent individual. So I don't get all the whatever consternation there might have been. Sierra Leone always runs his race, doesn't always win, but he starts in the back and he comes with a run, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes it just comes up a little bit short. And this time in the Whitney, in a very good running of the Whitney, it was really it was a good race. And he's run now 2 good races in a row. His first race off the bench was in New Orleans. It wasn't the greatest setup in the world, and I think he went there because the horse had prior success there. The one thing that Chad had mentioned was that the Lasix issue at 3, it's not an issue because you can't get Derby points if you run on Lasix, no matter what jurisdiction you're at. That even if it allows it in graded stakes. At 4, you're not worried about that. So the horses that were running on Lasix or benefited from Lasix in New Orleans might have benefited having Lasix. And he raced on Lasix that day and just didn't run his race. He ran a good race at Churchill to Mindframe, who might be, all respect to Sierra Leone, Mindframe might be the best older dirt mail in the country right now. Well, you know what? We'll get to settle that on the racetrack right here on August 31st in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. So, and then Saturday in the Whitney, he ran his race. He started, he got the pace he needed. He didn't have the easiest strips. When you're a closer like that, and you got to save the ground, and then you got to tip out wide. You're taking a ton of dirt. Then you got to make up extra ground because you're going wide. And he did. He ran a great race. And, a horse that got overlooked here is Highland Falls. He ran a tremendous race. Here's a horse that won the Jockey Club Gold Cup last year, stunk it up in the Breeders' Cup. Hadn't seen him since. He showed up in an allowance race at Aqueduct, going a mile, beat a lackluster field, and then he propelled himself off that race and ran terrific here. And
I talked to probably half a dozen people. before and some after the race, like Highland Falls. He ran great.
Yeah, he ran terrific, and he's coming back in the Jockey Club too. So to defend his title there, and I think White Abreu is supposed to come back, and so it's Mindframe, Sierra Leone, those two, Phileas Fogg and Antiquarian from the top two from the Suburban. It's going to be equally as good a race, if not better, than the Whitney. Which is how often have you said that? Usually one's good, the other one's not, or neither one is all that good. This year, there's a chance that both are going to be spectacular.
And we're kind of anticipating it as the 3-year-olds last year got good at the end of the year, and then as they proved that early in the 4-year-old season, we were anticipating a good handicap division. It's kind of playing out that way right up here as well with the two big handicap races. So again, we'll keep our fingers crossed on the Jockey Club Gold Cup. A couple other notes from Saturday. We had Riley Mott in here after World Beater gets him his first grade 1 up here at Saratoga. And the next race, Miguel Clement gets a grade 1 as well. And I'm sure you saw the picture on Twitter of them as little kids. That was kind of fun. It was fun to see them. Good storylines always at Saratoga.
What I didn't know is Bill Mott was talking about this the other day. They went to school together in Elmont, down below, and I didn't really know that. So I knew obviously they were sons of trainers who were, but Bill's significantly older than Christoph, and but their kid, those two went to school together, and they've known each other forever, and that was a very cool moment, and proud papa moment for Bill, and proud family moment for Miguel. Obviously, it was Miguel's second. This horse gave him, he had already won a grade 1, but it was cool.
Yeah, he had that nice weekend, and got the Manhattan win to close out that weekend back on Belmont Stakes weekend with the great. So the two good storylines there as well. Always what makes Saratoga a lot of fun, and you do a lot of that story work in the racing forum. And I was looking last night at some of the articles you've had out recently that may be notable, and you noted Nitrogen is working, and Mark Cassey still heading to the Alabama with Nitrogen.
Yeah, no reason not to, though. She's trained well on the dirt. She's got that one race, albeit in the slop. That was really good. It was only against 2 horses, but she handled it just fine. So if it does rain that day, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, she's set to go. There's nothing really that she's missing. She's already pretty much cemented herself as a top 3-year-old filly turf horse. So, and she, even in defeat when she lost to Belmont Oaks, she set a track record, got beat in the nose by Fionn, who beat her by a nose and won, and they both set a course record. The key here, I think, from Mark's standpoint, is the 1.25 mile distance that he thinks she's going to love. And again, she's trained well here, and why not? And really, if you're a grade 1 winner on dirt and turf in the 3-year-old filly division, that can win you an Eclipse Award. So the risk reward factor here is huge on the reward and minimal on the risk.
Yeah. And just had George Abreu in here. He said Scottish Lassie trains on Sunday. I believe they'll make a decision after that. Alabama Cotillion. So
that's new, because they told me they were skipping the Alabama and going to the Cotillion.
He said after Sunday they would, but it wouldn't surprise me, because he said it's all going to come down to timing and the time.
I mean, he loved the time. When I talked to him about a week after, he said it was going to take him about a week to make a decision. When I talked to him about a week after the coaching club, he said that we're going to go to the Cotillion. I love the timing, and it fits right in the middle between the Breeders' Cup, and this would give him a shorter time coming back to the Alabama, plenty of time to the Breeders' Cup, maybe too much time, but so we'll see if he changes his mind. I guess we'll see how well she works on Sunday, but it's not coming up a very easy race, the Alabama. You've got 2 from Brad Cox, 2 from Mark Cassey. You've got a horse, the Dubai Oaks winner is coming in for Team Valor. And you have another horse, you Take Charge My Lady for McPeak, who didn't run very good in the coaching club, but that filly's been known to go bad, good, bad, good. And then there's a horse of Greg Compton's, Kinsey Queen's going to run. So that's not an easy spot. Yeah. And for the money and the timing of it, if I'm them, I go to the Cotillion, but I'm not them.
Yeah,
they're not me.
That makes sense. And again, he said timing was going to play into it, which probably makes more sense at Cotillion. A couple other notes, bring the band home, a nice winner on the weekend. And again, interesting storyline there. You checked in with Mark Cassey going to the Arctic up at Woodbine in the next start. I thought that was interesting, but Mark does so well up at Woodbine. But also part of that was Javier Castellano got off the schneid. He was in the winner's circle. I got a little video with him afterwards. It was interesting. He was kind of humble and said, I never had kind of a drought like that, but you just have to keep plugging along. So it was kind of good to see bring the band home, get another win. He's a nice runner now for Cassie, but it was nice to see Castellano get the win.
Sure, and I think with Bring the Band Home now, with those two races back to back, I think the extra time to the Arctic is good. It's going to be 2 months. He's running the 109 buyer speed figure, 105 buyer speed figure. I'm sure if they could run the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint at Saratoga, he'd love that. But he also
we all love that.
Yeah, well, he gets to go to Woodbine to run 5/8, which is the distance of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, and time to recover from these two races. If he runs well there, it's got a good month to the Breeders' Cup. So that's actually makes a bit of sense to go up there and run him once instead of twice. Castellano, like as you mentioned, he was humble in the winner's circle. He was, it's tough to go through a slump at any time, but it's tough when it's in the public eye at Saratoga as much as it is at Saratoga. His last win prior to Saturday was a month before on Bring the Band Home. And, hopefully, it gets them going a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all it takes is the one day. And just finally, before we do a little preview of some of the stakes action, Torpedo Anna worked, and Mystic Dan headed to the Arlington Million, a couple of peak horses that obviously attract a lot of attention.
Yeah, so with Mystic Dan, he worked him on the turf. Kenny worked him on the turf a week ago today, and it sounded like he was going to try and get to a race at Kentucky Downs. I believe the stakes coordinator from Arlington, there's a full part. Colonial called him up and said, hey, you may want to just take a look at this race. And so we entered him because now we enter a week out. And he entered, and once you look at the entries, it's hard not to go. You find out sooner than later if you want to stay on the turf. And second, aside from integration, it's not that strong a race for the Arlington Million anyway. You didn't get those European shippers that you normally get. You got one who's like 3 for 21. And not nothing I would stay away from for $1 million. So that made sense. Torpedo Anna, that's her second work back since she's come up here. It was in company. It was a little bit in the fog, so it was hard to see the whole thing. She's probably going to work again on Sunday. Provided everything goes well, she's earmarked for the personal ensign, and then we'll see. We'll see where she goes after that. I think that's a key race for her to determine. Then maybe the Spinster and how she does in those two races will probably determine which Breeders' Cup race she runs in. It's kind of neat to think that she could run the Classic. This may not be the year you want to run the Classic with a filly. Yeah. No. As good as she may or may not be, by that time it'll play out on the track. But even if she wins those two races, boy, this Classic has the makings of an all-time Classic.
Yeah, last year when I got my Eclipse ballot, I had a tough time coming up with the older male. This year, it may be a tough time again.
For a long reason, for the different reason.
Yeah, exactly. Flip side of last year. All right, let's get a little stakes preview action. We'll kick things off with this afternoon stake, the Galway. I heard Andy Serling say Galway. He should know better. He's from here. It's named after Galway right down the road. But I'm going to take a little replay here of Proud Starlet winning out at Del Mar on July 19th. I thought this one was interesting. A little trainer switch to Steve Asmussen after having been with Tim Yachtine out there. But, boy, the Del Mar race just jumps out at me. I tilted in that direction. What did you see in the Galway?
This is an interesting race for you. George Weaver has 4. I like Love Severe. I've been a bit of a Love Severe fan for the Clement stable. Beat a decent field and to take the A-Train stakes at Aqueduct and solidify that performance with a nice effort at Woodbine winning that race. And I just think turf sprinting is what this horse is meant to do. She is 3 for 3 doing that. Her losses, her two losses have been going along a route of ground. So I think she can get a good stalking trip from the outside. She's got enough speed to get herself positioned properly. But she could also lay back if the pace is hot and heavy. She could lay back and come with a run, so that she's going to have to work her way through traffic. But I like Love Severe to keep the Miguel Clement train rolling.
Yeah, really. I have her right underneath. Makes a lot of sense off of that stake up at Woodbine. You talk about the Miguel Clement train. George Weaver going very well at the meet. Joe Sharp going very well at the meet. Obviously, Irad going very, very well.
And his brother, too.
Yeah.
At one point, it looked like Irad was going to set a record for wins here, and then I wrote about him, and he kind of went a little chilly. But he's got a 2-win lead over Jose, 33-31. But the riding start of the summer really has been, especially for bettors, is Ricardo Santana Jr. He's been winning a lot, and he's been bringing home some nice prices. He's sort of like this year's Dylan Davis.
Yeah. And Jose, the MVP at the basketball game last night, so scoring over there as well. And I mentioned it on the handicapping show, but I will mention it here for people who weren't tuned in earlier. I can do much better. I had the I won the raffle for the half court shot.
Okay.
Ooh, it was brutal.
Oh no.
Bull Durham, the first pitch where they hit the mascot.
Right.
It was like that.
Oh no. Oh no.
I can do much
Well,
better.
now, if you hit the half court shot, what do you win?
$500.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I was not close to the
But you weren't,
500 in any fashion. It was slightly embarrassing. No, it was more slightly embarrassing. It was bad. But tomorrow they feature the Boston Spa Mile 16 on the grass. I pulled up a replay of Deep Satin. This is going back to the Della Rose on July 10th. Deep Satin, a Cherie DeVoe runner. I had that one underneath. I thought Be Your Best, but Be Your Best is not going according to you, right?
She's not. She's already in Virginia. She's running in the Beverly D on Saturday.
Okay,
so Be Your Best is scratch. And just one other horse that's supposed to scratch is Freedom Speaks, who is in today, I believe, in an allowance race. So if you like Deep Satin, you don't have to worry about the 9-hole. She should move in at least 2 spots and get to the 7. And, she did run very well there. I guess the one issue is that was the second and slower division of the Della Rose that we ran on opening day. Ozara, another Miguel Clement trainee, won the faster division of the race. It's 2 for 2 at Saratoga. But when it comes to these turf stakes, don't you always have to look at Chad Brown?
Yeah.
He's won 7 of the last 10 of the Boston Spas, 8 overall. And he's got 2 horses in here that both came off the bench with good efforts, Whiskey Decision and Maggie Go in the Eatontown Stakes at Monmouth. And Whiskey Decision probably got the better of the trips there. They were opened up on the fence and it went through. But I expect both these horses to take a step forward. And what I like about Whiskey Decision over Maggie Go is I just think there's pace in here. It looks like there's going to be a legitimate pace in here. And I think Whiskey Decision's late kick might help her get the job done. Now, Maggie Go was a little bit closer to the pace. That was more so a scenario, at least according to Chad and Flavien Pratt, was not liking the softish ground down there. It was listed as good. It was more, on the yield, good to soft on that. We don't have that here. We have a firm turf course. Again, second start off layoffs for both of these horses. I expect them to move forward. I think either one of his will win, but Ozara is a danger in here as well. Just given her record over the course and how well her training.
On the morning line, Whiskey Decision is also the other Chad, which you always have to take a look at. And we mentioned
that was the other Chad when she beat Maggie Go in the Eatontown.
Mentioned George Weaver and Miguel Clement. Certainly have to mention Chad going well, Pletcher going well, Linda Rice going well. So some of the traditional names up there, top of the leaderboard as well. All right, let's take a look at the Saturday stakes. We'll start things out with the Saratoga Oaks. Kind of surprised at the field size. Only 6 entered in here for $500,000, but it is a nice 6. I pulled up a replay of Laura Lynn winning the Pennsylvania Oaks or the Penn Oaks down at Penn National in June. Laura Lynn going out for a Graham Motion. I did use the Chad Brown runner on top, though, the Stephanie Seymour Brandt runner for Chad, Opulent Restraint. But how'd you see the Oaks?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you from the standpoint of didn't expect this to be such a short field. There was no real standouts. Yeah. We don't have a European. Well, I guess we sort of do. Go-Go Boots is an interesting horse now in the barn of Miguel Clement. I think we hit the slot machine there 3 times. Miguel Clement mentioned for Bobby Flay. This horse was in Europe with John and Thaddeus Gosden, 4th in a Group 2. Only beaten a couple of lengths that day at a 1.5 miles. She's at least the one who shows that she wants to go this mile 3/16. My question mark with Laura Lynn, who's never lost, but she's never run this far either. She won a maiden race going a 1/16 at 2, and then everything's been a mile since. Now I'm not going to doubt Graham Motion believing this filly can stretch out, but we don't see it. We don't know it yet. Her figures don't tower over anybody. Opulent Restraint has the pace advantage of there. She should get loose she should get a controlling speed type of trip here. And she couldn't see it out exactly in the Belmont Oaks, but again, that was a track record time, and those top 2 aren't here. So you'd have to give her a big look. But I might go with Go-Go Boots just based on the European form and just thinking the Euro horses might be better. So
I'll ask you this though. To me, if I went back 10 years, maybe even 5 years, a Euro comes over on the turf, it was an automatic for me. To the last 5 years or so, maybe not so much. And part of that, I think, is a lot of these like Chad Brown owners are going over and buying their horses over.
That's part of it, yeah. But I still give them a good long look. Like I'm surprised we haven't seen more come over. Like Aiden O'Brien I think Aiden O'Brien got a little bit upset last year when we canceled that one race and pushed it back a week, and he took his ball or horse and went home, and I haven't seen him back here since. I don't think. So I'm you haven't seen him. Charlie Appleby, who won 14 graded stakes in the U.S. last year, has been non-existent this year.
Yeah.
Although we're going to get to him in a second.
Yeah.
0 for 3, all on Pegasus Day at Gulfstream Park in January. We haven't seen him since, and he's won a ton of races in the U.S. the last couple of years. So as I said, we'll get to him in a second. But they're automatic throw-ins for me, not throw-outs.
And one of the other differences also that they've kind of kicked up their purse structure over there for a while, that they were getting better money over here if they came over, but now on their big stakes days they've jacked things up. So for me, it's changed a little bit. But yeah, you're absolutely right with it. Appleby and O'Brien or some of their good runners, you have to absolutely take a serious look. But in this upcoming Sword Dancer Grade 1 event for $750,000, mile and a half on the grass, to me, it's going to be hard to get by. The Miguel Clement trainee, Bowling Green. We're going to watch the replay. Farbridge gets it done. I was down at Gulfstream for the Pan American. We were down Florida Derby weekend, as were you. Nice win by Farbridge to kick off the season. And Miguel kind of laid out the season, and for the most part, it's played out that way and played out pretty successfully. So Farbridge, to me, very tough to beat. I did put the Charlie Appleby horse right underneath, however. What did you see in the Sword Dancer?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to get too excited about this performance for him in the Sword Dancer. I mean, in the Bowling Green. It was a 4-horse field. He was 1-2. I didn't think there was anybody in here that could beat him. It's interesting to me that Appleby has sent both these horses to run here. Nation's Pride won the Million last year. Won the Arlington Million last year, and he's here, not down there. And they ran second and third to Farbridge last year when Farbridge undressed their riders in the getting on the lead, and then what was another short field, and just sort of prancing around the racetrack. And they ran second and third with, I think, measured time, who I thought couldn't get beat, and Silver Knot. So I think they're running here two here to get. To make amends.
Revenge?
I think El Cordobes, who's not necessarily a rabbit per se, because I watched his last race actually this morning, and he was sitting fourth in the pocket in that race that he won last time out. I think he's got a little bit of speed, though. I think he can be, if he didn't cover him up, I think he could have been forwardly placed. I think they're here for a reason, to make amends for last year. I think El Cordobes will be forwardly placed, making sure Farbridge does not get his way on the lead. And then I think Nation's Pride, whose form is spotty this year, no doubt about it, comes off the layoff and stretches out for the first time, I think, since he won the Aqueduct Jockey Club Derby. So my PPs are in my cart. But he hasn't run a mile and a half in a while. And I believe it's the Jockey Club Derby at Aqueduct was the last time he ran a mile and a half. But he has done it successfully before. He's 1 for 3 at the distance. But I think they're here.
You're right.
He could have went to Arlington, and what looks like when you pick up the PPs for the Arlington Million, you're going to be like, why should I be there? They're not doing that. They're pretty happy with the way this horse is doing, and I think Nation's Pride gets the revenge, if you will, for some of the stablemates last time.
That's interesting because I didn't know what to do with them. Now 6 years old, and again, spotty. Coming off of the Dubai race, that wasn't much, and I didn't know I used the other Appleby, as I say, right underneath. Interesting edition of the Sword Dancer coming up on Saturday. Dave, as always, appreciate the visit. I'll let you tout whenever I have you guys come in here. The workout report, as we said at the top of the interview, you and Mike Welch and the team checking out all the workouts, and the workout report is so valuable up here, particularly with the 2-year-old races.
Yeah, and there's a lot of 2-year-old races coming up, so you get some insight into how those works are going. And we've got Donald Harris on the Oklahoma side, and he comes over for the breaks and helps us out when it gets real busy. And it's been valuable, very invaluable to it. And you get to see a little bit more about, other than just the time on a piece of paper, you get to see how it's done. Sometimes these 48 works are done 22-2 and 25-3, and that's not the way you want to see it done. You want to see it done the other way around.
Yeah, and for people who are new to the game, it's not how fast you go, it's how you go fast.
Sure.
And this kind of gives a little insight to that. If there are a couple of working together.
And we try to definitely, identify the workmates when we can, and what they've done also. Horse is working with a horse that just comes off a win, or maybe a horse that's working with a horse that just got really heavily bet and got beat.
Yeah. DRF.com. Check it out. Workout reports worth the investment. You get a little extra knowledge that maybe some other people don't have going into a day's card. So keep that in mind. Dave, as always, appreciate the visit. Folks can catch your work, the hard copy, which is, I was in Stewart's last night, big pile of racing forms sitting there. I love that. But also DRF.com.
I love it when that shrinks.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it was last night. So
I
it was today. So it was going to shrink as the day went along, believe me. But appreciate the visit, and we'll talk again.
Sounds good, Seth.
All right, we'll head to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about one of the newest easy bets, Lansingburg. It's Rustic Barn. Looks like a great location if you'd like to stop by and enjoy some food, some music, and some Capital OTB betting on this Saratoga season and beyond. Stay tuned. It's been referred to as possibly the best equine-themed gift shop on the planet. Impressions of Saratoga. Impressions of Saratoga, celebrating the Saratoga and equestrian lifestyles. It's your number one choice for Saratoga souvenirs, apparel, and gift shopping. We have gifts for the entire family, and we're pet-friendly too. Visit us online at impressionssaratoga.com or come on down. Impressions of Saratoga, 368 Broadway, downtown Saratoga.
Why just watch the races when you can be in the middle of the action? For nearly 20 years, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program has made thoroughbred ownership affordable for the everyday fan. Ownerships of 5 and 10% are now available on a nice selection of horses. As a partial owner with Bonaventure Stables, you'll enjoy all the benefits afforded every owner. Visit with your horse in the private stable area. Greet the trainers and jockeys in the paddock. And when your horse wins, savor the moment in the winner's circle at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, or wherever you bring home the prize. Based in historic Saratoga Springs, Bonaventure Stables has been training winners and creating memories since 2005. Learn more, see available horses, and meet our team at bonaventurestables.com.
Welcome back to Racing Across America, and as promised before the break, it's one of our newest easy bets. It's located in Troy. I used to be a Troy guy myself. I spent a couple of years at RPI, so appreciate everything down in that direction. It's Jody and Jason Brenenstahl from Rustic Barn. Again, one of our newest easy bet locations. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Happy to have you here. Jody, I'll start with you. Why don't you just lay out for folks the hours and the days and the hours.
Right now for the summer hours, we're open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. and our kitchen's open until 8. We stay open a little later depending, on what's going on at the bar. But as soon as Labor Day happens, we'll be open 7 days a week, Sundays through the whole week. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Jason, our newest easy bet. You getting some action there during the Saratoga season?
Seth, we are. We are getting a lot of regulars are coming in, and we're seeing a lot of new faces. So it's been pretty good. It's only been 3 weeks, but I'm really seeing a lot of handicappers and wagers coming in. It's been good.
Excellent. And have there been any like woo moments yet?
A few. Sometimes people keep that to themselves, but
It's close to the vest.
Yeah. It's been good though. We're excited. We're gonna keep pushing it. It's great you're having us on today because get the word out. So yeah.
And again, guys have the slate with the location. We also have a slate with your web address, and I would advise checking out the web because you can get the menu and whatnot. And speaking of food, Jody, I'll ask you because I did pull up a graphic also with some of the food items, and I went down the menu, and I'm coming down. It looks great. Give us a little coverage on what the menu items look like.
Well, we make all our own, pretty much everything homemade from scratch. Jason, I call him my dough boy or my chicken man. Most of the time, he's always cutting up all the chicken, and he makes fresh dough every single day.
Excellent.
He smokes all the meat too, brisket, ribs, pastrami, and our pulled pork, all smoked in house. Even make our own homemade barbecue sauce. And I do all the soups and macaroni and cheese and all that kind of stuff.
They're fabulous.
Desserts, yeah.
And like I said, I pulled up some shots and included nice burger. There was a whole list of burgers. There was some really good. I'm not a mac and cheese person, but you may have convinced me.
But that's hers. That's her.
It looked very good. There was some pizza on there.
Oh yeah,
soup.
Yeah, you got all the good stuff there. Yeah,
mozzarella sticks, and I hit on a minor portion of the menu. It really looks good. And Jason, is it lunch and dinner?
Yep, it's lunch and dinner. It's the same menu. You can, we sometimes we'll do a late night menu if we stay open a little later, but it's all done in house. Our foods are our briskets smoked in house, our pastrami's brined and smoked in house. Everything other than maybe chicken tenders and fries, but yeah, we put a lot of work into it, and I have a great group of guys in the back that are preparing and executing the food. So yeah.
I said I'm coming. I may be coming today. The more
we'll be there. It's a labor of love.
And again, if you check the website, you go down, the menu's there, and a little shot of each item, and it will make your mouth water certainly. I said when you sat down, I have I had notes. Get to the hours, get to the food, but it looks like music is a big thing down there. And I asked you when you sat down, and I think we have a graphic. It looks like you do an open mic night, and I asked if it was regular, and you said, yeah, Thursday nights down there, open mic night.
Yeah. Every Thursday. We have the award-winning open mic night. We have players from all over the place that come. It's really fun.
So if you show up, you can step up and sing, play your well, give me a little feeling of what the talent level is.
I'll take that. We have beginners, but then we have some of the local great musicians. This area is full of some really great musicians. We have a honeypot of them. So, and then we have some young kids that come in, and we have a soft spot for that. We try to give them their shot. Everyone's supportive, and it's a good place to collaborate. A lot of bands have been formed actually from the open mic and our open mic. They've stitched together different parts, and it's a good open mic. I would suggest anyone who hasn't checked it out to come down and give it a shot.
Well, as you mentioned, and the graphic says, an award-winning open mic night, and they're always fun, as you say. You get some new people, but you get other people who just want to appreciate getting an audience and
some spectators. Yes.
And again, I noted that music is very good, and I think we have a shot. I have some shots of just the bar in general, and the guys can put that up, but also a shot of a band playing. And if you go to the website, there's a gallery, and there are plenty of bands playing. So I'm guessing music is a big part of the Rustic Barn experience.
Yes, yeah, it is. Well, live shows every Friday and Saturday. If throughout the fall, spring, and winter. The summertime, Fridays and Saturdays, we don't do the live music. That's Thursday night is our big music night, but we kick right back into it as soon as September comes.
And I'll ask you this. I'll ask both of you. Was it after you got married? So was it a joint? How'd you guys get into the restaurant business?
Oh, it was actually his grandfather's bar.
Oh, okay.
He's been in the family since the early 90s. Yeah. His grandfather, we worked under him for years. He passed away about 13 years ago. Smitty was his name. He was an amazing man. Nice. We really enjoyed working under him. And so both of us have been there for about 20 years. and we took over with his mother after he passed away.
Was it an actual barn?
No.
No, actually it was. So next door was Anderson's Dairy Creamery, and they built that in the what was it? The
early 60s.
Early 60s,
Yeah.
but it is like an accurate looking barn. So they
Yeah.
would serve they'd have to serve ice cream there and whatnot, and a diner, and then it changed hands a couple times, and then my grandfather acquired it.
It has a lot of history to it.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming from the way you're talking and the events you have and whatnot, you have a lot of regular. I love places like that where you go in and people are sitting at the bar and they're clearly all regulars. And typically places like that are very welcoming to new people to come in and become regulars.
Sure.
I'm guessing you have a steady string of regular customers.
Yes, it's a lot of regulars, but it has actually over the years become like a destination too. So you're getting people from transit from like Vermont, or during ski season people are passing through.
Yeah.
So Jody's done a great job with our social media, so she gets the word out there, and a lot of people are like, when I'm going by, I want to try that place out.
Yeah.
So it's our hometown regulars, and then you get some destination people, I call them.
And again, from the shots, it looks like just a fun place and a great menu and lots of activities as well with all the music and whatnot. So we're happy to have you on the team.
Thank you, Seth.
Again, as I say,
really
I'm waiting. I'm hoping there is one of those woohoo moments.
Yes, hey, we were on our way here, so I didn't hear all the horse talking before we got here. What's your pick of the day? I can relay it to my customers.
I'm going to give you my dark horse play of the day.
Okay.
Today, my dark horse play of the day is in the stakes race today.
Okay.
Number 7, Proud Starlet.
Okay.
So race 7, horse 7, easy to remember. Pass that to the.
I'll pass it along. Yep.
And now the pressure is on.
And you'll be held accountable. I just pass it back to you. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Really appreciate the visit this morning because, again, you're one of our newest Easy Bet locations, and we like to promote those, obviously, but particularly when there's a spot like yours that has a little bit of everything, music and food, and just a nice, comfortable atmosphere as well. So we're happy you jumped on board. We wish you a lot of good luck. And
thank you, sir.
Pass that on as well to the players down there.
Will
Lots
do.
of good luck during the Saratoga season.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Much.
Jody and Jason Brenenstahl, Rustic Barn in Troy, our newest Easy Bet location. Stop down if you're in that area. And believe me, go to the website, look at the menu. You will stop down even if you're not in the area because it is definitely on my list as well. Appreciate the visit.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck going forward.
Yep.
All right, we'll wrap things up for Racing Across America on this Thursday morning. It's a gorgeous day. If you're coming up to the track, you picked a good afternoon. So come on up and enjoy. If you can't make it up here, go down to the Clubhouse Racebook and enjoy, or your local outlet or your local Easy Bet location as well. But otherwise, back in tomorrow, 9 a.m. handicapper support, 10 a.m. Racing Across America. We'll see you then. Haven't signed up for a Capital OTB account yet? Now's the time to take advantage of the sign-up bonus. Open up a new account with $200 or more, bet $400 by the end of the month, and receive a bonus $200 into your account. Plus, you can take advantage of everything an OTB account has to offer. Wagering from any device, live streaming, racing info, past performances, online promotions, and more. Sign up today and take advantage of the new account bonus. Details at capitalotb.com.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
You've been watching Racing Across America. Racing Across America has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. When you can't make it to the track, make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.